Hello, Diaz here. Welcome back to another video. What's up, Doc? Dentist Confession. Today, I would like to share with you a story that I had to deal with a situation, I think Christmas week, which is very sad, disappointing, and was very, very challenging. So I have these couple patients that had to move up north. They bought a house up north and unfortunately had to leave our practice to find a closer location to their new home. So I haven't seen them with COVID, haven't seen them for a while, and all of a sudden I see their name in the schedule and it says second opinion. So I said, okay, I hope everything's all right, because you never know. So I come in and they have, one of them had some work done with the other dental office, and the other one had an estimate to do more work in the other office. So let me back up a little bit. So before they left, I have done all the restorative. They made sure that everything is done before they leave, just in case they don't find a dentist on time, or they find somebody they don't like, or because of COVID, so forth and so on. Just a very complicated situation. So I try to, get them in, get the cleaning done, get all the restorative done before they left, just in case they had to wait X amount of time to find another dentist. So when they came back and they showed me the bill for one of them that had fillings, I said, okay, fine. And I asked, what would you like from me? You already had the filling done. The husband asked me to make sure that those fillings were done. There was a trust issue. That's what I'm trying to say. There was a lot of distrust, a lot of suspicion as far as what that office had done, which is sometimes happens. It's just a feeling that you get because it's a new office, it's a new provider. Their style could be a little bit different than my style. Their approach could be different than my approach. So the communication skills might not been there. Maybe they didn't warm up to the provider. And that happens a lot when you switch, as you know, even when you switch a primary provider in the medical field or health provider. So I said, fine, of course, you keep it professional, you just collect data. And I said, you know what? I know you had transferred the x-rays for me to see prior to the fillings that were done. Let me just compare, let me take x-rays and compare what was there, what was done. So I confirmed 2 out of the 3. The third one was never done, but it was billed for. And to be very honest with you, I almost doubted myself because I looked and I looked and I looked and things did not add up or match up. So before I even opened my mouth and said anything, I just reassured the patient that we're still collecting data. And I had to look back and forth, back and forth. It's almost like a puzzle game to put the puzzle pieces together in order to give him the best answer I can. So we went through that, and to my surprise, and again, I was questioning myself whether this is real or not, I had to admit the fact that 2 out of the 3 fillings were done, but 1 filling was not done, but was billed for. And when that happens, and when I see that, it surprises me because I wish I know what they were thinking. Maybe they forgot to do it. So I asked the patient, do you remember if you were numbed in 3 different spots? Because those fillings were 3 different isolated sites. And the patient said yes. And I trust her because I know her. And I said, okay, well, that third one, there is no restoration on the x-ray. It's a natural tooth and the cavity is still there. And they kept on asking me, are you sure? Are you sure? And I said, from what I see, I don't see a filling there because the contrast on the x-ray does not show or reflect the opacity of the material. I don't know how to explain it. Cavities, obviously, I mean, I've been looking at x-rays for 22 years. Cavities look much different than the restoration, man-made restoration. A cavity is a very organically growing into the tooth, so it has a specific shape. They do have different patterns, but in that case, I can see it even in the mouth that the tooth is transparent and I can almost see the decay. It's not brown, but it was chalky underneath. Anyways, but the x-ray actually proved that there was something there. So I reassured him. I said, you know what, we need to get it done because decay is decay. As I said in my other videos, decays don't wait for anything. Decays don't wait for anybody. Decay will progressively continue to travel through the tooth and damage the tooth. At this point, the patient did not have any sensitivity. So then the spouse gave me the quote that he got of so much work that needed to be done. A crown needed to be replaced, 3 fillings needed to be done, and so forth and so on. So he wanted me to confirm that everything he got is really what he needs. And he's a very minimalist patient. He doesn't have really high expectation. He's not into cosmetic dentistry. He's only on preventative. What needed to be done, needed to be done. Very, very compliant. Very, very appreciative. And I did my examination. And again, I looked at the x-rays that they came in with. And I did not see any indication of decay, but he was diagnosed with 3. And the crown that needed to be replaced is intact. The tooth is sealed. And there's nothing wrong with the crown. It's a very, very old crown. So I sat with the patient. Of course, again, you have to be politically correct when you explain your findings without being partial towards certain philosophy or certain type of practice. So all I did is simply stated the data, and I told him that my opinion clinically and radiographically is there is no need for a restoration at this point. There were stains, but no active disease, which is decay that's damaging the tooth. As far as the crown, I'm very conservative in my practice, and I do mostly preventative dentistry. So I told him that if anything, if we see any open margin, leakage, deterioration, the tooth is not sealed, open seal, we will always recommend for anybody to replace and upgrade that tooth with another crown. So that was all fine until you find out that also the patient that has to go back and deal with insurances because the insurance paid that provider, for example, for the 3 fillings. Luckily, when he saw what he saw, something triggered inside of him the suspicion, and he held back on his own treatment, and he came to me for a second opinion. So now the poor thing has to go back to the insurance to prove, or to say at least, state that, not everything was done. So they made an appointment, they came back, and we opened the tooth, and I took intraoral images of every step of the way. When I opened the tooth, when I found the decay, when I restored the decay and polished and adjusted the bite and so forth. So just documented everything so he can take it back to the insurance so the insurance can switch, the bill or the claim. It doesn't really matter to me. It just, I needed to get that done, honestly, to give them a peace of mind that there's no more decay. Because they were under the impression it was repaired and the decay is gone. So that makes me sad. I'm not sure what happened. Again, I'm not trying to pass judgment on anybody. I don't know if they forgot. They were in a rush. They did 2 out of 3. The patient got numb for nothing. And things happen. They do. But I don't know if the patient went back to the provider and gave them the chance to justify the situation or explain themselves or explain exactly what happened that day. I'm not sure about that. But all I'm saying is I felt sad. I felt bad that, you know, they had to go through what they had to go. And I wonder if that provider will ever know. So it's just a story, and, you know, we corrected it. Everybody's fine. And, you know, you have to be civilized with dealing with situation like that. Things do happen. But it was very awkward. It's never not awkward. It's always awkward for a clinician to, like me, to be in that situation. Trying to say is like, no, it wasn't, you know. So I hope you guys enjoy this story. I wish everybody the best. We love you. Be safe, and I'll catch you on the next video.